guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Bundles, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different kind of video. I'm going to be showing you guys how I install my hair. The way that I install my hair would be different. It's a different method than what I use on clients. The way that I install my hair is really fast. I only put 4 braids in my hair. One right here, one right here, one right here, one right here. So 4 braids total. And I use the elastic band method. So if you guys are interested to see how I install my hair extensions, then keep on watching. Before we get started, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this, and hit the post notification bell. That way you're always alerted when I post a new video. So without further ado, let's get started. I do want to let you guys know that the texture that I'm going to be using today is from my site, and it's the Mongolian Deep Wave. I did wash this hair because I've been reusing these extensions for a while. And that's one of the perks when you do get good virgin hair, you can keep reusing it. But this is what the texture looks like. Right here is some conditioner that I am going to wash out, but I just washed this hair, and because this hair is a kinky curly texture, I wash it and then I put conditioner on it and let it sit. And I keep the conditioner on there until I install the whole head. And then once I install the whole head, I take a shower, I wet it, and then I style it. I'm already dressed for the day, but I'm still going to get in the shower and do it again, just so that you guys can kind of see the finished product at the end of the video. But yeah, let's get right into the video. So first thing that I use when I do my hair is I always use a closure, and I always like pluck my part. Sometimes I bleach the knots, sometimes I don't. I didn't bleach these knots, I just plucked the part. And to cover up the knots, I'm just going to use concealer or like a foundation to cover that up. So this method makes it really fast and simple. I know a lot of people have struggled with putting on closures and frontals, and I do too at times. So this makes it a lot easier. All I do is I take an elastic band and I sew the end to one corner, and then I sew the other end to the other corner, and then I go ahead and I just put it on. Very simple. Like, move this back a little bit. So I have some needle and thread. I use the curved needle or C needle. It's just easier for me. And I'm just going to sew this down. So I'm just going to sew the perimeter of the closure down. And that's why it's so important to have like a protective guard around your closure, because you're going to be sewing into it. And if you don't have that protective guard, the more times you sew into it, the more likely it is to tear, and you really don't want your closure to tear and have holes in it. Now sometimes your closure will, depending on how long you use it, will tear, but I have a remedy for that as well. So if you guys want to see a video on that, just let me know. So I go ahead and I sew down one side, and while I'm sewing it, I did double knot it in the back, and then I go ahead and I use the same needle and thread, go ahead and make a knot. And I'm sorry if I'm moving a little fast, guys. I do have somewhere to go, but I wanted to do this video so you guys can kind of see, because I do get questions on how I sew my hair in so fast. So I'm going to sew in the opposite side. And if you notice, I didn't just go right around in a circular motion, just because this way makes it lay a little flatter. I don't know why, but sewing the sides down first and then sewing the back down makes the closure lay a lot flatter. So I'm just sewing it down. I'm trying to get close so you guys can see. Just sewing it, nothing really fancy or special. I know some people double knot it as they're sewing it down. I really don't on myself, just because, you know, I'll be trying to get gone. I don't want to sit in the house all day and do my hair. And today's like the Saturday before Mother's Day, so I still need to go get gifts and things like that. So let me show you how I double knot it. So I put it through, and I hold my string like this, and I go ahead and I knot it. And that's that side. So this is what we're looking like so far. Elastic band still on. I didn't make it too tight, so it's not really hurting me. You don't want this to hurt you at all. If it's too loose, you can tighten it up by just making a knot in the back, like this. and it tightens it up. But mine isn't. Mine is just right. It's not too loose. It's not too tight. It's fine. All right. So the next step that I'm going to do is sew down the back. So let's take some thread. Thread looks like this. I'm just going to put it in my needle. What I did is I just licked the tip just so it's easier to go in, and just put my thread through. And I make my thread a little long just so I don't have to keep going back into the thread so often. Hurry up and knot it. And then I'm just going to sew down the back. See, the back is still not sewed down, so you want to make sure this is sewed down too. And this is really simple, guys. Like, you know, sometimes closures can be the longest of your install, just getting it to lay flat. And, you know, if you don't use the elastic band, so I recommend everyone try using the elastic band because it's so simple. And I'm double knotting it again. I'm getting to the end. And you can double knot it twice, just depending on how secure you want it to be and how long you plan on keeping it in and what you plan on doing that day. If you plan on doing, you know, something where you need to make sure it's down, then go ahead and take the time to double knot it properly so that you can make sure it's down. So at this point, the closure is down. This is what it looks like. I haven't done any baby hairs or anything. This is just what it looks like. And the reason that I say I'm going to get back in the shower after I install it is because the more you touch and play with curly hair, so because I'm going to be installing it and touching it and moving it, and it's going to get frizzy. And I don't want to really wear a too frizzy look today. So I'm going to get in the shower at the end to kind of let you guys see the finished look. So next thing I'm going to do is find what bundle I want at the back. I'm probably going to use this. Now the reason that I'm able to do this so quickly too, guys, is because I don't cut too many of my tracks. I mean, of course you're going to cut some tracks, but I don't even want to say of course. Some people don't cut any. But if you do cut them, make sure that you don't cut too many, because I can use this whole track and I double my wefts. I just double them together just so it's easier and it's fuller. And so I'm going to start at the back. Make sure that you don't sew your elastic band onto the bundles. That's so annoying for me. So I'm just going to start like right about here. I'm going to start sewing it in. So I'm going to find my needle, which should be somewhere in here because I didn't cut it, I don't think. Oh, here it is right here. Okay, so I cut my needle and I'm going to start sewing. Hope you guys can see this a little bit. And I double knot it at the beginning because I want it to be secure while I'm sewing it down. And from that point, I'm just going to sew it. I'm hoping you can see this. But if you can't, all I'm doing is sewing it to the next side. Like that's all I'm doing. And I'm making sure not to sew in the elastic band because, like I said, it's just annoying. Some people do sew their tracks on the band. It's just your preference. I don't like to. It just feels weird on my head. And this way also helps when your closure starts to grow out. You know how typically your closure would go back the more it grows out. Well, with this way, all you have to do is unsew your closure, move the elastic band up, and you can still wear your sewing. So this way is really convenient to me. So what I'm doing right now is I'm to the end. I double knotted it again. Always double knot it at the ends, and now I'm flipping it over. I'm flipping it over like this. I didn't even blend my highlight in, so guys, excuse that, sorry. But I'm flipping it over. I'm finding my needle, And I'm going to start sewing from right here. You don't have to make your bundles or your tracks very close together because it's curly hair. And see, I made a mistake. I started sewing in my band, which we don't want. So I cut that. And this part isn't going to come loose because we double knotted it at the end. And sometimes what I do to make sure that I don't get this, when I don't get this into the, I don't sew it into my track, I'll just go ahead and push that down. And because this is the beginning, we want to double knot it again. Just wrap your string around it twice. Why did I say string? Thread. You guys know what I mean. I'm trying to film this as fast as I can too because my kids, you probably heard them throughout the video, but it's Saturday and it's Saturday. So my kids are very anxious to get out and they're loud right now. And I want to record this so that you guys can see how I do it and actually hear me before one of them starts coming in the room or fighting each other or, you know how it goes on Saturdays. All right, so I'm getting more thread because I ran out. I'm going to double knot it. I'm going to knot it. How I knot it is I just take this, spin it around my fingers, and roll. That's it. That is it. So, still sewing it in. I'm going from the bottom. I mean, it doesn't really, you can go from the top and sew it in. I've done that before too. It just helps it to lay better if you go from the bottom track. So, just sewing it. And I don't know if you guys can see me sewing it. Let me try to scoot down. I don't think you can see it though. But I'm just going to talk you through it. I'm just sewing it in. I'm going under the track and pulling the needle. Under the track, pulling the needle. That's it. This is about, I think it's like maybe 2.5 bundles. But all you really need is like 2 bundles if you're using the kinky curly texture because it's so full and thick that you really don't need too many. And sometimes I just kind of measure it to see where my track is going to end so I know how much hair I'm going to need and going to use. So, yeah, 2.5 should be good for this style. So what I'm doing again, I'm just going ahead and putting the thread through my needle again. And we're going to start sewing. We've been doing this, I don't know, because I've stopped a few times to run out there with my kids. So I don't know how long we've been doing this, but it hasn't been too long at all. And I prefer this way over a quick weave just because it's safer in my opinion. Quick weaves, you have to put so much glue either on your hair or on the stocking cap that's attached to your hair, and it's just, to me, it's messy. I prefer to do sew-ins when I can because it's just quick. It's quicker to me and it lasts longer and it's safer on your hair. So I'm at the end. I'm just double knotting it. Did I just, okay. Make sure you don't get it into this because that's going to be so annoying on you. It might not be to you guys, but it's annoying to me. I'm just wrapping it around the needle. Okay, so that's in there. I think I'm going to do it one more time on this side just because, I don't know, just felt like I should. So I'm going to cut it. And we're going to get some more thread. Now, I do know some people use like multiple needles. And they already have it threaded and ready to go. So you can do that. But for me, I don't. I just use the same one. It doesn't take me too long to knot it and thread it. Taking it, wrapping it around, rolling it, we're done. So just folding it around like we did on the other side. And because we're doing kind of a side part, I want this side to be bigger than this side. So I'm going to keep that in mind when I'm sewing it in. So I'm going to space this side out a little bit further than I space my hair on this side so that I can have volume on this side. So I'm going through the bottom. And I'm just pulling. I wish I had some different color thread because you would have been able to see it better. Because the bundles are black, the cap that I'm wearing is black, and the thread is black, it can make it a little hard for you to see what I'm doing. But all I'm doing is just going underneath the bundle and pulling it. I'm going to stop right here. And pretty much, I don't want this video to be too redundant. So I'm going to keep doing that until I get finished. That's all I'm going to do. And I'll probably come back once I get to the very top. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to take another track, and these are double again, and it does have conditioner on it because I just washed it like I mentioned. And I'm going to add this one over here because we're going to start building up the volume on this side. So we're going to take our needle and thread, lace that back up again. Sometimes if it won't lace or won't thread that fast, I just cut the end and I try it again. There we go. I only have a little bit of hair left, so we're almost done. I mean, you can kind of see how fast that was. And I'm trying not to fast forward too much through the video, and I'm going to try to not cut out too many parts just because I want you to see how quickly you can really sew your hair in this way. And if you notice this time, I'm sewing up. I'm not even going down. I'm sewing up. And when I say up, I mean I'm not going under the bottom track. I'm starting at the top and I'm going down versus me starting from the bottom and going up. And I'm doing that because I don't want this side to lay flat. This side needs to have more volume. And when you go in from the top, it makes it have more volume. So that's what I'm doing on this side. I don't want it to be too big, but like I said, I want this side to lay flatter and this side to be bigger. So and then I switched it. If you can see now I'm going under because I want this side to lay flat. I'm running out of thread, so I'm going to double knot it so I don't lose what I've done so far. Cut it, and we're going to get some more thread. And I mean, during this time, you can, watch a quick movie or, be talking on the phone. It goes past really fast. I know it may not seem like it now just because we're sitting here watching me do it, but it goes past really fast. I'm at the end of the bundle, so I'm just double knotting it. I think I'm gonna do this one twice just to be safe. And this hair is getting in my eyes, making my eyes water. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is take some more hair and we're going to start on this side again because we need this side to be bigger than this side. So we're gonna start on this side again. But it's coming along pretty well. I like this texture a lot. It's really cute. It matches, it blends really well with a lot of African American hair textures. And this would be a cute texture to, it would really be a good texture to do like some cute clip-ins with. If your hair texture is already this curl pattern, then you can do a few clip-ins, which I'm going to be making a video soon about how to do clip-ins, and just add volume to your hair. So I'm just sewing it in, making sure that I'm not sewing in the band. And I'm going from the top again. Why? Because we want to create the volume on this side. Now, when you sew in straight hair, the technique is going to be a little bit different because you want the straight hair to lay flat. Unless you do want volume in the front and you're doing like a side part. And then you can use this technique as well. So I'm just sewing it because I'm getting to this side. I'm going to switch the way that I'm sewing, and I'm going to go underneath the tracks instead of above the tracks. Getting to the end of my threads, I'm going to double knot it so we don't lose what we've worked for. If you don't double knot it, then it's not as secure. It's easier to come out. We don't want that. All right. And actually, I may not even hop in the shower. I may just let you guys see how it looks like this, because you can kind of still get the picture. So this is the last track that I'm going to be using. This is newer. I got this from a new pack. So this hair is newer, and that's why the curls are more defined. So this is going to go at the top, just so you can kind of see the curl pattern. And the way that I want to do this is I'm probably going to wrap double. It's already 2 tracks because that's how I sew it in, but I'm going to fold it even more. So I'm going to start on this side because we want this side to be bigger, and then I'm going to wrap it around and finish on this side. Now, if you see how much space I left, it's a good space, but I want this side to not be so thick. And then we're also going to have to cut the ends a little bit because this bundle is longer than the other hair. And we want it to flow, we want it to look right. Let me just show you now kind of how I cut it. Normally I use a razor, but if you don't have one, that's fine too. I just hold it at an angle and you can just cut. Hold it at an angle and just cut like that. You don't want to cut straight across just because you don't want it to look too even. And you can go ahead and shape it up a little bit too once you get done with everything. I wouldn't recommend shaping it up until everything's sewed in, but I'm just showing you guys how I would cut the ends. All right. And don't lose the needle, because like sometimes that can drag the process out. Losing the needles and scissors and your thread. I have dogs and puppies in my house and they love thread. So if they get a hold of it while I'm, not paying attention, then that's going to prolong the process. So we're almost done. I'm just taking this up to my closure. I'm not going to sew it onto my closure because I don't like it like that, but you can. You definitely can sew your tracks onto the closure. A lot of people do that and there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there's just one way to do a sew-in. I don't think there's one way to do anything. I think there's multiple ways to get the same result. As long as it looks good and it feels comfortable on you and you're happy with it, then I say you did a good job. And of course, make sure that you can't see any of your tracks because you don't want that. And yeah, I'm just sewing the last one in, and I still have some hair left over. So sometimes when I have hair left over, I'll go in and I'll fill out where I can put it and just stick it in there just because I won't feel like being extra that day. I don't know if I feel like being extra now. I don't know if I want to stick more hair in or not. But, I mean, it's up to you. It's your preference, what you decide to do. I might, just for this video, just go ahead and stick it in. I don't know until I get done and I actually feel it. And I can kind of tell, how it feels. You don't really need to see the back. I know that's a question a lot of people ask. How do you see the back of your hair? And you don't have to see the back. You can just use your hands and feel it. If you need to see the back, you can use a mirror and attach it to like the wall. You just take like a little nail and nail it up there so you can, and have a mirror in front of you, and you'll have a mirror in back of you so you can kind of see what you're doing. But I don't really look at it, especially with curly hair. It's so easy to install because it's so thick and full, and you really can't tell if you missed a spot or if it's thin or anything. I mean, you can tell if it's thin, so make sure it's thick. And if it's thick, you really are not going to be able to tell if you missed a section or if a section is sparse. you're not going to be able to tell. That's why I always say you can get away with just 2 bundles in a closure when you're doing curly hair extensions. Like, you just can. Depending on the hair, depending on, you know, who you get it from, you can definitely get away with it. My bundles are very, very thick. And I'm going to actually show you, when I get done with this video, one of the Mongolian Kinky Curly. That's what I'm using now. I'm going to show you one of the bundles that haven't been used, so you can kind of see how thick they are. But my bundles are very thick, and that's why you can, you know, only get away with 2 bundles. So at this point, we could be done. I have this last track left. Just feeling around to see if I need to put it anywhere. And I don't. I really don't. So I'm going to scoot back now. Oh, get out my eye. Okay. So at this point, what I would do is I would do my baby hairs. And then I would shape this up a little bit. And then I would add some mousse and conditioner. Mousse is going to kind of keep the curls defined so that it doesn't get really, really big throughout the day. Some people like their hair really, really big, but some people don't. And today, I don't mind my hair being really, really big. I just want it to be more defined. So I want it to stay like this. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to add some mousse to it. I'm probably going to get back in the shower to wet it, add some mousse and conditioner, and that'll be it. But I wanted to show you guys how quick it is to do your own sew-in. Very, very quick if you're using the elastic band method. My bands are right here, but you can't see them. Just push them up. Do your sideburns. Do your baby hairs. And you are good to go. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I was a little rushed just because, you know, my kids, you can probably hear them now. It's Saturday and they're ready to get out and play. My dogs, it's Saturday, they're ready to get out and play. So they're all like, I'm going to make as much noise as I can so mommy gets done and comes to play with me, which is fine. But I just wanted to come to you guys really quickly, like I said, and show you guys how I do my sew-ins. This is the back for anyone that wants to see. And yeah, you're pretty much done at this point. I just hit my foot. It hurts. Nothing really much you have to do except, like I said, put some mousse on it if you want to keep the curls defined, or some conditioner, and do your baby hairs. Let me quickly show you how my bundles look, like fresh out the pack. 1 second. Okay, so this is the Kinky Curly. Yeah, Mongolian Kinky Curly right out the package. And this is a 16-inch. But this is how it looks. And this is how full the bundles are. So these bundles are so thick. And like I said, that's exactly why you can get away with just 2 bundles. So if you guys are interested in this hair texture, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you're interested in this hair texture, make sure you check below in the description box, because I always leave my hair website in the description box. It's badchickhair.com. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.